I'm uncertain if we should be doing this. After all, this theory might make Nintendo regret they at all presented the map of Zelda Wii U's overworld.
It has to be done. After all, a fusion of 3, perhaps even more of the overworlds from the series in Zelda Wii U is groundbreaking to say the least.
You're right, it has to be done, since the resemblance of Hyrule Field that we mentioned in the previous part is most likely just a piece of a greater puzzle.
Then there's no time to waste. This is the Zelda Fusion.
Andy, in the previous part you stated that Zelda Wii U was first unveiled in Nintendo's E3 digital event last year. However, from what I remember, minor details about the game were shared all the way back as the first Nintendo Direct in January 2013, shortly after the release of the Wii U console.
You are right, Conrad. Series producer Eiji Aonuma then stated the driving theme behind the development process, with the following words. Our mission in developing this new Zelda game for Wii U is quite plainly to rethink the conventions of Zelda. I'm referring to things such as completing dungeons in a certain order, to play by yourself, the things that we have come to take as granted recently. We want to set aside these conventions, get back to basics to create a newborn Zelda so players today can enjoy the real essence of the franchise.
There's no doubt that Mr. Aonuma has held this promise, the clearest evidence being the E3 reveal of the game and even more the Game Awards gameplay presentation. Still, in my opinion, the most important moment was when series producer Eiji Aonuma and series creator Shigeru Miyamoto swiftly demonstrated the utilization of the Wii U Gamepad by showing us the ginormous map of Hyrule.
You mean the Dark Overlords of the Zelda franchise? All set to prepare a mighty return to the roots of the series. The map is just testimony of this ambition through the fusion of the overworlds in 3 prior titles.
You mean the division of the map in sections from the original Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess?
Correct, and the clearest indication can be found in the middle of the map.
Hyrule Field. Indeed, the central province does share a similar layout to Ocarina of Time. Moreover, when I now look closely, they appear to have identical border marks.
I would go even further, Conrad.
What do you mean?
Do you really think it was a coincidence that the first footage unveiled of the game at E3 was a scene of Link on Epona in the middle of Hyrule Field? This is a clear reference to the title screen from Ocarina of Time.
You're most certainly right, and if Hyrule Field from Ocarina of Time returns in this game, then Lon Lon Ranch may return as well.
Speaking of, could there be several ranches? In the E3 reveal we only saw a couple of farmers in the presence of goats herding in the field.
There could be. Nevertheless, what keeps me up at night is the silhouette of what appears to be Hyrule Castle and Hyrule Castle Town in the distance. The map with the visible narrow passage or moat from Hyrule Field over what must be Zora's River further support this statement.
Most definitely, it as well matches the location of Hyrule Castle Town from Ocarina of Time. From the color of the terrain, it seems this town will be massive. I further hope this town will include more advanced NPCs, with a programmed daily schedule, as seen in Majora's Mask 3D.
Then, there are 2 provinces from Ocarina of Time present in Zelda Wii U. Could there be any more?
Well, in almost all previous installments set in Hyrule, Kakariko Village has been present. Besides, from what I can see from the map, the northeastern province located next to Hyrule Castle Town consists of a dark strip, resembling the graveyard from Ocarina of Time.
My god, I will never get used to that.
I believe we better move on. But as a final note on Kakariko, the Sheikah might be more involved with the plot in Zelda U compared to previous installments. Both Link's shield, the eye symbols, and the likeness to Skyward Sword could be an indication of this. Since this particular eye symbol is on Link's shield, then would this indicate something about his origin? After all, the wooden shields in Zelda games traditionally mark the hero's origin. For example, the Kokiri, Ordon, and Skyward Sword variants of the wooden shield allude to the hero's place of emergence. This eye symbol found on Link's shield in Zelda Wii U may allude to Link having some connection to the enigmatic Sheikah. Either that, or Link is a part of the Illuminati. But hey, let's move on to the Hyrulean provinces. How many are you comparing again, Conrad?
Well, that makes it 3 provinces from Ocarina of Time, and with that I would like to include a final one. Laying east from Kakariko is Death Mountain, in the middle of the reddish volcanic area. After all, the Goron race has appeared in absolutely every console installment since the debut in Ocarina of Time.
Moreover, the only games where our beloved race of rock-eating creatures have more or less been absent belong to the Fallen Hero timeline branch, the most recent example for this being A Link Between Worlds.
This volcanic province seems to be rather vast. Traversing it to a potential dungeon might become a full-day quest.
If this is the case, then I hope there will be some sort of checkpoint along the route to the mountain peak. A resurrection of a more extensive version of the Goron city would be a great addition to add content and variety to the area.
Run! We barely made it. Hyrule truly is a dangerous place.
You said it. At least we are done with the Ocarina of Time section.
Yes, and in total up to 4 provinces from the game may appear directly in Zelda U. All of them in the central and northern section of the map. Where are we heading next?
Series producer IG Numa has stated that they want to bring the game back to the series' roots. And from the first scene in the gameplay demonstration at the Game Awards, a well-known scene took place from the original Legend of Zelda game, which, by the way, will celebrate its 30th anniversary next year.
Ah, the nod to the nostalgic artwork of Link looking out to the horizon at Death Mountain in the distance. When you mention it, the province Link stands in does share some more similarities to the plains from the first Zelda game. Forget that. I dare to go even further. The whole eastern province of Hyrule on the map mirrors the one from the original Legend of Zelda.
The most apparent landmark, in this case the surface, is a Skull Island in the northeastern lake. This one reminds me of Spectacle Rock and Level 9, the final dungeon from the Legend of Zelda. Perhaps this location will feature the final dungeon in Zelda Wii U.
Possibly, but speaking about water, I think we forgot to mention the likely presence of Zora's Domain in one of the medium-sized lakes south from Skull Island. The body of water in question is after all placed in the same direction from Hyrule Field, Castletown, Kakariko and Death Mountain as it was in Ocarina of Time. Back to Legend of Zelda. Have you noticed the similarity the southeastern coastline in Zelda U share to the NES classic?
Most certainly. It appears the whole coastline and sea stretching in the eastern part of the map, including the old Gambler's Den, has been recreated in the overworld of Zelda Wii U. There is one significant difference though, the island at the edge of the map. In my eyes, this screams a likely dungeon location.
Another thing. There are different shades of water in the overworld, where the light blue areas will most possibly indicate water sections where Link will be able to swim, such as lakes, rivers and sea portions close to the coast. The darker areas in the middle of the sea, on the other hand, will most likely represent deeper waters and will require other means of transport to traverse.
Sailing! After all, Wind Waker HD, with its unique sailing mechanic, was developed alongside Zelda Wii U. Furthermore, series producer IG Numa has on several occasions stated that the remake has served as inspiration for Zelda Wii U's ambitious, seamless open world.
With that said, Nintendo EAD Group number 3 might evolve the sailing from Wind Waker in Zelda Wii U to fuse the best from 2 worlds, land and sea. With that, I believe we can say we are done with the original Legend of Zelda section.
Not exactly, Conrad, since I believe there are larger sections missing in the southern edge of the map. The most visible evidence is the rift in the coastline.
This would mean the overworld might be even vaster than previously predicted. We will see if more information clarifying this matter will surface at E3 this summer. Are we ready to head over to the Twilight Princess section?
Yes, and you have already argued in previous episodes of Zelda Unknown for the likely presence of Lake Hylia in the southern section of the map, Gerudo Desert in the west, and Snow Peak in northwest. However, I would like to add Lost Woods as a province in the southwestern edge to the mix.
Or the Sacred Grove, as the area was called in Twilight Princess. You may be right, Andy. In the original GameCube release of Twilight Princess, the Sacred Grove with the Skull Kid, Cyrus song in the background, a recognizable mace, and the Master Sword with the pedestal were all present and located in the southwestern edge of the map.
One thing is for certain, this province from the looks of the map will be vast and filled to the brim with trees, enemies, and wildlife. Moreover, the developers might finally realize the feeling of really getting lost within the Lost Woods.
I think it is time to sum up the provinces from the original Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and Twilight Princess that are most likely present in Zelda Wii U. From the original Legend of Zelda, we have the coastline with the Smuggler's Den, the sea or ocean, some of the lakes in the central section, and the land portion southeast of Hyrule Field.
From Ocarina of Time, we have Hyrule Field, Hyrule Castle Town, Kakariko, Death Mountain, and Zora's Domain. Finally, from Twilight Princess, we have Lake Hylia, Gerudo Desert, Snow Peak, and Lost Woods.
I feel we are close to being done with the gamepad and the map, but before we move over, I want to state the following. In a recent interview with GameSpot about the release of Majora's Mask 3D, series producer Mr. Eiji Aonuma was asked about the possibility for a future return of the time manipulation mechanic from that game. He had this to say. One particular game element, being able to slow down the passage of time, I think that is something that we may be able to revisit in the future. But if we were to do so, it will have to be implemented in a different way. It would have to be different to be meaningful, so that is something you might see again in the future.
Could Aonuma possibly be referring to Zelda Wii U? After all, the Wii U gamepad screen in the presentation included a clock, which might be an indication for the presence of a real-time 24-hour day and night cycle in the game.
In other words, Zelda U might be taking inspiration from the Animal Crossing series, which share this mechanic and does as well feature dynamic NPCs with daily schedules. Combine this with the vast overworld which pushes the Wii U to the limit, divided into sections from the original Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess, and I believe we have the basis for an incredible Zelda game.
This is fine and all, but I wonder why these three titles have served as inspiration for the overworld in Zelda Wii U.
I believe the answer to that question lays in the fact that Aonuma wanted to fully realize the ambition that was originally intended for the original Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess. The secondary reason for the implementation of sections from the overworlds from these three entries could be the overwhelming sales numbers of those installments. According to the VGS charts, the original Legend of Zelda from 1986 has sold over 6.5 million copies in total. Ocarina of Time from 1998 has sold 7.6 million copies of the N64 version, and up to 10 million copies if you include the 3DS remake.
Twilight Princess, on the other hand, is the best-selling entry based on the original platform, and version sales with close to 8.6 million copies sold, when you include the GameCube and Wii versions, which were launched at the same date in 2006.
Seeing these statistics, I wonder how many copies Zelda U potentially can sell based on the current and potential Wii U install base at the game's release this fall.
We can begin answering that question by looking at the sales figures. According to latest reports, the Wii U had an install base at the beginning of the third year at approximately 9.2 million units sold worldwide, and the best-selling game to this point is Mario Kart 8, with close to 4.8 million copies sold, which is disappointing even compared to GameCube standards. Splatoon might lift the sales of the console a bit, however, I do not see it as realistic for the Wii U to reach an install base above of 11 to 12 million units at the release of Zelda Wii U. With this in mind, it is obvious that the game must become a system seller for Nintendo in 2015 and 2016.
I believe the success of the game will depend on the PR and marketing actions different divisions of Nintendo in America, Japan and Europe will conduct that might appeal more gamers and non-gamers to purchase the console for the sole reason of Zelda Wii U. Being more specific, I talk about Nintendo's attitude towards promotion of the game through the variety of YouTube channels, their E3 presentation, trailer and demo, the amount of press coverage in advance of the release, a potential Zelda Direct 1 month prior to the game's release, and traditional TV commercials.
I fully agree with you there, Conrad. Nonetheless, I would like to include one more factor, the planned Netflix live-action Legend of Zelda series. This will generate incredible amounts of press coverage around the franchise and Zelda Wii U both at the same time of the game's release, and of course in the months leading up to the premiere of the first episode of the series. Nintendo is well aware of this possibility, and I would point at Zelda Wii U as the sole reason for striking a deal with the streaming service. Moreover, if Nintendo really knows how to value their investments, then the setting of the series will be the world of Zelda Wii U. In addition, if I may add, 2016 is the 30th anniversary of the Zelda series, so I am certain Nintendo will capitalize on this opportunity.
If this series will be on par with the quality of Netflix flagship series such as House of Cards, Orange is the New Black, or the as excellent but less known Norwegian Netflix series Lilyhammer, then I believe we as Zelda fans are in for a treat. But more importantly, the series will generate a new flow of Zelda enthusiasts,
resulting in increased sales for both the console and Zelda Wii U.
I think we will drop it there. Andy, would you take the honor of briefly summing up the most important content in this two-part special for our viewers?
Well, where to begin? In truth, Zelda Wii U is derived from the concept of getting back to the basics of what makes a Zelda game a Zelda game. This particular concept dating all the way back from the first Zelda title, which emphasizes exploration and player immersion. Not only that, but Aonuma has already stated in the past that game mechanics found in other Zelda games that were developed alongside Zelda Wii U may be implemented in this new Wii U iteration. Moreover, it's about the mystery of the land of Hyrule, and what it truly means is generating this nostalgic feeling in Zelda Wii U, to comparing geographic similarities across multiple games, and speculating about potential storylines just speaks volumes of how passionate the Zelda community truly is. I honestly think it's amazing how little we actually know about the game, and yet we have come this far in analyzing it, but that's enough of analyzing for one day.
Andy, it was great to have you here. If you liked this video, then you definitely must subscribe to this channel, Macintyre Productions, where you will find tons of news, theories and evolution videos regarding Zelda, Wii U, Metroid, Star Fox, Fire Emblem and many more. Are you ready to take the outro, Macintyre Productions?
Sure, Commonwealth Realm, remember to like, share, and comment below on this video. And most importantly, if you want to see more episodes of Zelda Unknown and other future gaming series on this channel, then I highly recommend you subscribe to Commonwealth Realm.
For the next episode of Zelda Unknown, I will give you the following decision. Do you want me to cover the Forest Province Lost Woods or the Bay or Sea Province? Comment in the section below before February 26. The next episode of Zelda Unknown will be uploaded on Thursday, March 5th.
Hello everyone, this is Andy from M.Productions. I hope you really enjoyed the special, as it took a lot of work to put this one together. If you want to see more, then watch this episode of Zelda Unknown dealing with Lake Hylia, or the Zelda discussion we had in my channel with CR and HMK. I hope you all still have a great day.